So this is one of the biggest mistakes that Tesla owners make, and it can be deadly. You probably already know about the manual door release, but if you don't, it's how you can open your Tesla door manually, even if the doors don't work. But every once in a while, you have to make sure it still works. Why? Because it can actually break. Mine broke before, and I had to get it replaced. According to the manual, oh, this is way too complicated. Heck, I'm already dead. Got it? It's a good thing I carry this everywhere I go. Not. Got it. So go out, test out in the front and rear doors, because you don't want to end up like that ding-a-ling lady and claim she was trapped in her Tesla because none of the door buttons worked. Idiot. The next mistake is not using Sentry mode and dash cam correctly, or worse, not using it at all, especially because it comes with your Tesla and it's all free. Teslas, if you didn't know, have cameras all around the vehicle for a 360 view of what's going on. Everything is stored locally on a USB drive inside of your glove box. So if you ever want to commit a terrorist act, just make sure to take the USB drive out of the glove box before doing it. It not only captures each drive, it also captures any motion while parked. And now in the new update, if someone tries to open the door, it'll also let you know. If your Tesla gets into an accident without this crucial feature enabled, you have no way to really prove what happened, even if you have dash cam enabled. Tesla's dash cam, it's not the same as normal dash cams. It only records the current drive. Once you go into park, if you go into drive again, it rewrites the old drive unless you do this. Go to controls, safety, and dash cam, and make sure it's set to auto. In auto mode, it automatically records if it detects a big collision or the airbags deploy, but you don't want to rely on this, as it may not save the event if, let's say, you get into a fender bender and it's not that bad. So there are 4 ways to quickly save the dash cam footage if something happens. The first and easiest is just simply honking your horn. You'll hear a beep and it automatically saves that footage. Also, I highly recommend keeping that dash cam icon in your taskbar, so you can always just easily tap that dash cam button whenever and it automatically saves. Another way is to use the voice command and just say save the dash cam footage, save dash cam clip. And lastly, a way that a lot of people don't know is you can customize your left scroll wheel hold button and save the dash cam clip that way. Then there's the Sentry mode, or the dash cam while in park. But the issue a lot of people have is they don't want to turn it on because it drains too much of your battery. I actually tested this in a busy LAX parking lot for 2 weeks. Guess how much battery I lost? 103% with over 1,500 events. But if you do turn it off, and I was gone for like 10 days, I only lost 1%. So yes, Sentry mode drains your battery, but I still recommend keeping it on in unsafe areas. I mean, I've seen so many people get door dings, scratches. You think you're safe, but you want to keep summer safe, which is also a voice command if you want to easily and quickly turn on Sentry mode, and it's from Rick and Morty. So there's a lot of Easter eggs in Teslas, which is super cool. But to save battery, you can have Sentry mode automatically turn off at home, work, as well as your favorite locations. And one question a lot of people ask me is, if Sentry mode is off, will the alarm still go off? Yes, it will. If someone breaks the windows, the car alarm will go off. You just won't have any recordings of the events. But everything I told you is completely useless if you don't check this one feature. Go to controls, safety, dash cam. Make sure USB drive is formatted and it isn't corrupt. You'll know it's corrupt because it'll say like USB drive is corrupt. Or when you look at the dash cam icon, there'll be a big X while you're driving or in park. And you want to make sure you format that bad boy right away. You can do it all through the Tesla screen. Tesla also should provide you with a small USB stick that records footage. However, for me at least, I got the 1 terabyte Extreme SanDisk SSD, so I can save a ton more Sentry mode and dash cam footage without it running out of space and rewriting the old footage. You'll know Sentry mode is on with that red dot. You can easily turn it on or off by just pressing that red dot. And now you can not only turn it on and off through the Tesla app, you can view the events and footage right from your phone, which is super awesome. Highly, highly recommended. Everyone has to turn this bad boy on. And one last thing. If you ever take your Tesla in for third-party services like tire rotations at Costco or America's Tires, turn off your Sentry mode. There have been so many times I forgot to turn off the Sentry mode and the car alarm went off because they were trying to remove the tires and it was scaring the workers. It was very embarrassing, so just do that. Now, let's go to Daddy Chill for this next one. Now the next mistake, I surprisingly run into a ton of people who own a Tesla and think they never need to maintain their car, like ever. While you don't have to worry about stuff like timing belts and oil changes and going to Costco to fill up gas, there are a few stuff that you have to worry about, and one of them can definitely affect your range. Your tire pressure, so make sure to keep that rubber inflated. Open your driver door, tilt your head, and look at the yellow sticker, and you'll see what PSI you have to inflate your tires on cold tires. And cold tires just means on tires you haven't driven on in a few hours. In the wintertime, I like to do around +5 PSI on top of the cold tire pressure. And in the summer, I usually do around +3 PSI. It's also a good idea to keep a portable tire compressor in your car at all times in case you get juice up on the fly. For me, I've been using my Fantic X8 Apex tire inflator for a while now. They made it for electric vehicles, but you don't have to use it if you don't have an electric vehicle. Pretty much the same thing. It can inflate a tire in 6 PSI in under 3 minutes. So it has a light integrated on the top, so you can do it in the dark. And what makes it EV is that it has like a little Tesla logo on here. So what's cool is if you know your PSI, you can already just do it. So for me, I want to do +5, so 47. And it'll maintain 47, so you don't have to quickly remember it. You can just... So all you gotta do is just plug it in. It has great power life. You can also double it as a power bank in an emergency if you want to charge something at the bottom over here. And what's cool is it tells you the PSI, and not only that, it'll automatically stop, and it's super quiet, and it just makes your life easier. And I gotta juice up on all of them because it's a little low. So right now I'm at 27 PSI, and we're gonna go all the way to 47. So easy. I keep it in my Tesla at all times. You never know. If you guys are interested, I'll make sure to link in the description below. Now this next one I personally haven't had to deal with yet, thank goodness. With Teslas, there's a 12-volt battery in the front that controls your screen, opens the doors, all that stuff. So if that bad boy ever dies, you're literally locked out of your Tesla. Usually your Tesla will let you know on the screen when you need to get your 12-volt battery replaced, but sometimes it just dies and doesn't let you know, which means you're out of luck. And if that 12-volt battery dies, there's no way to open your front. So to solve that, all you need to do, you gotta keep this A23 battery in your front. And then if your Tesla ever dies, boom, boom. And don't worry, it's not gonna work if your car is locked and your 12-volt actually works. So no one's gonna be able to steal whatever you have in your front. And then you can go in and grab your jump starter from your front. And the last thing you gotta do, washer fluid. Tesla doesn't require any special washer fluid. I got this on Amazon, get whatever. You could just fill it up. Do you guys see this? Got it on Temu. Open this bad boy and boom. And if there are ever any issues with your Tesla, you could easily open up the secret service menu to see any extra alerts. And a lot of times you can reset certain things like cameras without needing to make an appointment to the service center. For that, it's under software, hold your logo, so Model Y, and the password is service. But when in doubt, just make a service request. It's so easy to do because I ain't gonna be liable for any issues that you cause. Now, the next one is software updates. I mean, Teslas are so cool. You get new updates making your car cooler and better. And we Tesla owners who love tech, we always want the latest and greatest first. But if you don't have this setting enabled, you'll be last. Make sure you go to software and set it to advanced. Just know if you recently bought a new Tesla and all your friends are getting the cool new software update and you're super pissed, the reason why you're not getting it yet is because Tesla locks you on their factory firmware for a few weeks. So that's why. So just be patient and you'll get it eventually. Just remember, if you ever start an update, you have to finish the update. And sometimes that update can take about an hour or more, which means no driving. Sometimes the buttons may not work. So don't freak out and make a TikTok about it. Just know you can always cancel it from the screen. You can even cancel it from the app within 2 minutes of starting the update. And a little pro tip, if you wanted to start the update faster, you can tap that countdown timer a few times and it'll start right away. Now, another mistake a lot of Tesla owners make, it's not realizing how much you can control your Tesla through the app. I mean, put some wheels on this thing and you have like a legit mini Tesla. I'll keep it short, but let's start with the quick shortcuts. It's not just these 4. If you hold a shortcut, you can get all these shortcuts. You can click, customize, drag and drop. And if you wanted 5 shortcuts, you can drag it to the edge. And I recommend taking off your phone case if you have one to make it a lot easier. That way you can have 5 icons instead of 4. Almost everything can be done through the app. Scheduling charge, precondition the battery, heating up the interior, unlatching the door, scheduling a light show. I mean, you have so many options. I mean, it's endless. So make sure you take a look at all the commands on the Tesla app. Now, voice commands is crazy, and it's gotten even crazier. Everyone hates how there's no buttons. And if you're driving and it's pouring rain, the last thing you want to do is have to figure out where the wiper blade speed is. What? Doesn't rain in California. If you press the right scroll wheel, you can easily say, increase the wiper blade speed. Increase wiper blade speed to maximum. Or turn on the headlights, or use HOV lanes, or navigate me to the nearest Tesla supercharger in Tustin. There's actually like over 100 voice commands. So if this video gets 100 likes, I'll do a video on it. Now, this next mistake can be a very expensive mistake because you need gas for gas cars. And for me at least, when I had a gas car, I'll drive an extra 20 minutes to go to a Costco gas station to save what, an extra $5? Which now I realize I probably wasted on driving to Costco. But did you know that your electricity provider usually has cheaper rates if you own an EV? You can probably charge your EV for a much cheaper rate than your current plan, but you have to make sure you fill out some forms and tell your utility provider you have an electric vehicle. Now, something else to keep in mind is your charging management. I highly recommend charging to around 80% daily unless you have the LFP battery, where it says 0 to 100% on the screen. Then they recommend charging to 100% every few months. But don't worry too much. I've charged my Model Y to 100% so many times for road trips with no issues, and I haven't seen any real crazy battery degradation. Also, if it's cold and you blast the heater or your battery is too cold, it does kill your range like crazy. So one great tip if you're home is to keep your Tesla plugged in, and in the app, you can easily create a schedule and precondition your car before you leave. So it's nice and toasty, heats up the battery, all that stuff. Now, one crazy thing that I even had to learn is that driving an EV is not like driving a gas car. You actually save more battery driving in stop and go traffic, whereas in a gas car that uses more gas. And like I said, using the heater in EV uses way more battery as well compared to a gas car. So when you drive, don't constantly floor it in your Tesla and then come to me and complain that the range in the Tesla is super inaccurate. Use chill mode. Make sure you're using that one pedal driving to get the most energy back, which means do not touch your brake pedal. And again, to maximize the most range, turn off stuff like cabin overheat protection, standby on summon, and yes, Sentry mode if possible. Don't forget, you can actually go to your Tesla screen, use the energy app to see how much is being drained while in park, or if you set a drive and set a destination, it tells you all that stuff. So make sure you use the energy app so you can see what's draining your battery in park. Teslas have one of the best navigations of any car brand, and did you know you can actually tap on the screen and customize a ton of stuff? You could have the north up, you could have satellite mode, you could have traffic, and now if you have the new hardware for Ryzen chip, you even have an option to see the weather radar, so you could see all that stuff. It's super cool. You can also see chargers. You can customize different charging speeds. And when navigating somewhere now, you can now customize the final destination arrival charge rate, as well as see the weather. And don't forget, you can easily send your address directly from your phone to your Tesla. Now, the one great thing about Teslas, and it's not just a great commuter car because of the supercharging network, it's great for long road trips. And especially with us, with our 3 dogs, our white seats, that interior gets dirty so fast. So make sure you protect your floors from dirt, mud, with floor mats like the ones I have. I've been using 3D Max Powder for a while now. These floor mats, it's super legit, anti-slip grip, so it doesn't move around. Also has a very minimalistic look, especially with that Tesla interior, you want that minimalistic look, so it looks super clean. Still looks like new, like what, 3 years later? And if it does get dirty, you can just instantly wash it with the hose and looks like new. Make sure to use my referral link in the description below. Aside from that, you wanna make sure you coat your seats with some sort of coating. I love the white interior, and coating it has made cleanup so much easier. Just make sure if you have a lot of stains or gene dye transfer, you wanna clean that up ASAP. Otherwise, it can etch into the coating permanently. And Teslas also have like a giant iPad looking screen. And if you damage that, it's gonna cost a ton of money. So just use a screen protector. So, I mean, that's it. As long as you listen to these tips and don't make these mistakes, you can keep your Tesla looking new for a long time.